What do you think the legacy is of the Tonight Show?
You mean the Johnny Carson version,
Yeah.
the legacy of the
Yeah.
Johnny Carson version of the Tonight Show? I think that it'll never be topped as far as pure, grossed together entertainment. 30 years, some almost 5,000 shows of high quality, good television entertainment. I think that Carson was a real uh, evident being for television. In other words, if television had no other star, if it only had Johnny Carson, that would have been enough, because he was perfect on television, because he was able to do the takes, and you could catch the take. A lot of time the take was the funniest thing of the whole operation, just his look, just how he looked at me when I said, "You certainly invented it." And they take a close-up of him, and he goes, that's priceless. So he was perfect for television. It was almost like he was invented to be on television. And he did it so well. So for 30 years of that great, good television, that certainly is a legacy. Now, as far as enduring time, I don't think anybody will ever do. Now, Leno is a hard worker, and he might do it just because he's so intense and so much of a hard worker, and really totally devotes himself to that job. He might, but it won't be the same. It won't be that time that we lived with Carson from the 60s into the beginning of the 90s and through some very horrific times in our lives, the assassination of some incredible people, the president, a man running for the president, a spiritual leader, all of those things happening and the world going on. And even though we're living past the September 11th now and we have to go another horrific situation, there was such an accumulation of them during that 30 years of all those things that happened. And the freedom, the opening of more freedom for the women, more freedom for what you could say in a joke. I'm not a big fan of what you can say on television anymore. I'm in the old school broadcaster. You don't say bad words on when you're broadcasting. I don't say them in real life, so I won't make a mistake. But I train myself that way. But it was also too tight that Jack Parr couldn't do a water closet joke that was very, when you hear it now, you say, what? What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. So there's a freedom there. Women coming to the proper place they should have had a long time ago. That happened during those 30 years. So a lot of things happened. So the legacy is all wrapped up, I think, in the history of the times, what went on, and Johnny's commentary on what went on. That he excuse me, that he brought to the audience a new way to look at what happened. Whatever it was that happened, he brought a way to look at it. And I remember a gal, I'm trying to get her name, if I can get her, maybe my pal over there will know. The columnist Barbara, somebody from Washington, salty, tall, good-looking girl. Barbara, say again? No. Howard, like Barbara. Anyway, it's not important. I'd like to remember her name is important because she's quite a gal. But she told me once that when Johnny got on a political figure in Washington and started joking about him, his career was over. That's how powerful Johnny's comments were, that when he started calling Earl Butz, Earl the Pearl, Butz was on his way out the door. And he did that with several people where there were blunders made and he would comment about it. But that's what he did for us for 30 years. He brought what happened in our life, in the paper, in the day's events, he brought it to some kind of a cap, a conclusion that night, a reminder of what it really meant in humor. And that's a legacy right there.